It is the Riot. Today in the podcast.
Dun, dun, dun.
Spoiler-free Avengers talk.
Yeah, Obi finally saw the Avengers.
I did. You know, it was a whole week.
What?
We act like it was 3 years went by.
No,
and I know
think,
in pop culture time, a week is 3 years.
I think it's only because you were supposed to see it. You had tickets for the first Friday that it was out.
Yep.
And everybody else wanted to see it that day, and then you just didn't make it. So I think people were just ready to hear your opinion when you were first supposed to go.
And why didn't I go?
Because you went to sleep.
And what else do we talk about on this podcast?
Obi in his sleep.
I've been sleeping a lot.
You have been, and I don't know when is the part we're supposed to be worried or concerned.
That's what I wonder. I just wonder if, like, in 6 months we look back and are like, oh,
why didn't someone speak up sooner?
Remember when he was doing all that sleeping? It was because he had the
no
syndrome.
I think we have some time still.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
But it is a something to note. Just to mark it down.
I want to be active and alive and fun, but really I just want to go to sleep.
And that is the words that I know for me, being next to you is supposed to be like a warning bell. Like, hey, when you start to not want to do anything but sleep, that's supposed to be where you figure out what's wrong.
Well, that's the other thing I'm trying to figure out, too, because all jokes aside, like fatigue is a depression symptom, but I don't feel depressed. I just want to sleep all the time.
But you just seem more sleepy, so I don't know what it is.
I really want to overcome it. Caffeine pills, that's the answer.
No.
It's not. So, hey, other things in the podcast today, we don't remember. So you guys discover them for yourselves, and we'll see you on...
Thank you so much for listening to the podcast
tomorrow?
And choosing to not sleep. And instead, have us going on.
Thank you so much.
Okay? You made the right choice.
You did it. You did it. It's the Riot.
We thought about selling the worst of the Riot, but let's be honest, no one is buying this stuff. Get it for free on the RadioU app.
Your hair looks nice. Did you get a haircut?
Oh, Nikki.
Was it a long time ago? I didn't notice. Or
let me tell you something right now. I just want you to know that I am so incredibly proud of you.
That I noticed. Yay!
You finally did it.
I did.
And you know what? Now that you've noticed, my work here is done.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Today is my last day. I finally trained Nikki to be a decent human being that notices others. And now my work is done.
Well, congratulations to you for being so strong and working with me for so long. And, of course, to your hair for, just being a part of the situation.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I actually did get a haircut on Saturday.
Yeah.
Do you know what else I did on Saturday?
What'd you do?
I took 2-hour naps.
Wow!
Friday night, I slept for 11 hours. Wow. And it was Friday night, I slept for 11 hours, 2-hour naps on Saturday, 10 and a half hours of sleep on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And Sunday nights, normally, I cannot sleep. I was in bed early and thought I was going to
Last night?
Yeah, like the National Guard to get me out of bed this morning.
Well, I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. I would say maybe it was something from your haircut, but you're saying you slept so long on Friday night, too.
Yeah. So if anybody could send help, that'd be great.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, seriously. Hey,
That's a lot.
Hey, I just want to know, is that still allergies? Is that still?
I think it is, but I am starting to wonder because that's just an awful lot. And maybe that's what you're supposed to be getting. Maybe
it is.
We're just so usually on the other side of not getting enough sleep that your body's finally like, they're always going, what does your body's going to speak to you and tell you what it needs.
What it needs.
So maybe what it needs right now is a lot of sleep.
Because if you do the math, I slept across, I guess three nights at 8 hours, that would be 24 hours, but 3 nights, and counting the day sleeps, I'm like up over 36 hours of sleep.
You got some sleep bank. You've got that.
But here's the thing. Of going to the gym this morning, I was just so mad that I wasn't in bed. I was just mad the whole time. Halfway through, I got to the gym, and you know how they have those things that you can sit down on between the lockers. They're benches, but where I work out, they're kind of like wide benches.
Yeah.
Why, whatever. I was like, I'll just lay down here. I'll just use my bag for a pillow. I'll just lay here.
That means your body wasn't done yet. It needs more. How does it get more?
I feel like I'm pouring water into the ocean, and the ocean's like, we need more water.
We need more sleep.
We need more.
All right. Well, that is something to keep an eye on this week, okay?
It's fine. But, I mean, my hair looks better.
It looks good.
Yeah. So, I mean, nothing says...
I'm glad you could get your hair cut in between your naps.
It was difficult. My mom cuts my hair, so when she left, I was like, I'll just go back to bed now.
The Riot.
All right, pace yourself because you're going to have to do this all day for very little money.
Radio U.
So I did see the Avengers this weekend.
You did? Did you go on Friday?
I did, but I'm not going to tell you my thoughts on it yet. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I will tell you this much, that I am not the only person that went to see the Avengers this weekend.
Is it over $2 billion now?
Over $2 billion.
So what is that, like the biggest movie of all time yet, or it's getting close? I mean, it's only 2 weekends in, so it's not like it won't pass out eventually.
So if you look at all time, let's see, what did we say? Adjusted worldwide. Here we go. Avatar is at $2.7 billion.
Mm-hmm. So it's always Avatar, and then they always bring up Titanic.
Titanic get beat out, actually, over the weekend. But the thing you got to remember is that Avengers beat Titanic in a week. Mm-hmm. Titanic was in theaters forever.
And I think it came out multiple times. Like, didn't they do
a re-release?
Yeah, re-release, like an anniversary or so later.
I think so.
So
that sounds right.
It's unfair for it to be in the same category because it's been out quite a lot of times.
If you look at the top 5, like of all time, international, like this is the most money we made. Number 5 is Avengers Infinity War. Number 4, Star Wars The Force Awakens. Number 3, Titanic. Number 2, Avengers Endgame. And number 1, Avatar. Now, separating Avatar and Avengers Endgame right now, $600 million.
Which seems like a lot, but it's not.
Sounds like a lot, but given how much it's made in the last 2 weeks, it'll be interesting to see like what the momentum looks like going into, say, this weekend.
Was it crowded on Friday when you went?
When we went, no. We went Friday at 1:45.
Not usually a hot time for the movies, but
I will tell you, if you looked ahead on the app there for like other showings, pretty crowded. So I bought our tickets, I don't know, a few days in advance and got pretty good seats. And saw it in the IMAX. I continue to think, I'm sorry, but IMAX, at least in the IMAX theaters where I live, that is the biggest sucker deal in retail.
You didn't like it?
No, it's
a waste.
It's a waste. All it is, I'm sorry, but like it's a big screen, but it's not that like I went to the Science Museum and saw it on IMAX where the screen is 400 feet tall. This is the same size screen they've always had, but now they're like, well, we got a sticker we put on the door, says IMAX, so you owe us now.
IMAX.
You owe us now. Let's see the big money.
That's a pass on that one. But other than that, it was good.
I'm paying for that whatever pass, Stubbs A-list, so it doesn't matter. It's not any extra for me, but it's just one of those things where I thought going in there, what if I paid an $8 premium for this? Now, Nikki, I just want to know if we adjust for inflation, Gone with the Wind is still the biggest movie of all time.
Gone with the Wind?
Yep.
But again, adjusted for inflation.
Adjusted for inflation.
As a big asterisk on that one.
In fact, here's your top 5 adjusted for inflation. Number 5 is Titanic. Number 4 is E.T. Number 3 is The Sound of Music. Number 2 is Star Wars, and number 1 is Gone with the Wind.
Because again, back then, like ticket prices are different, so you've got to adjust for that.
When you look at the fact that Gone with the Wind's made $1.8 billion, and you understand the tickets were a nickel.
It's quite impressive, isn't it?
Instead of $15.
But they didn't have as much competition. So
also true.
At that time, if you were going to the movie, it probably was like, well, this is the only one we're going to.
That's all there is.
That's all we get to see.
Knox Hamilton. Yeah, you didn't pick a movie. You went to the movies, and you just saw what they had.
That was all the option was. There was no app. There was no nothing.
Wow.
Starting your day with the worst of the riot is a great idea because it's guaranteed to get better from here. It's The Riot on Radio U.
I got to tell you, I just don't really know a whole lot about about cars. I'm not a great car person. So when somebody says to me like, hey, I really like blank cars, I'm just like, I don't know
Listen,
what
we
you're talking about.
watched Top Gear and the Grand Tour. That was about it. As far as we go.
I got nothing, like, really. But I was looking at this, I'm trying to figure out what country this is in, because it says here that there was a Honda Jazz that was involved in an accident.
What is that?
I know.
Is that here or is it an old car?
Well, okay, I'm looking. Apparently, it's like this is in the United States, right?
Is it?
Port Stevens?
People also ask, is Honda Jazz a reliable car? I've never heard it.
I've never heard of it either. It looks like it might be like a Honda
India?
Fit. But they keep calling it a Honda Jazz, but isn't it in the United States? Port Stevenson? All right, let's Google that. This is the kind of research that you're supposed to do before we go on the air.
No, we want to do it together with everybody.
This Port
Is this about it in
Stevens-
the McDonald's drive-thru?
Australia.
Yep.
Okay. All right. They speak English. We speak English. That's why it looks like it's there. So what ends up happening here is that there is a woman that is involved in a car accident at an intersection, loses control of her car, and it then spins out and crashes into the McDonald's.
It looks so fake when you look at the picture,
It
though.
really does.
It looks like one of those stickers that I see sometimes on people's car where it's like, the baseball hit the car, but...
The bullet holes.
Yeah, but it's not real. And here it looks like someone just placed a car and cut the front off and didn't actually go in. It's
exactly
very weird.
what it looks
Must
like.
be the lighting.
Yeah, it looks totally fake, but it also totally happened.
So she's older.
Well, they said there was no alcohol involved, and she is older.
But was age involved?
Well, but it might not be her fault because she was in an accident with another driver. So, though you find yourself saying, like, why didn't you hit the brakes? How come you kept
the
going?
other driver was a 21-year-old, so I think we both have both ends of us being bad drivers.
Don't be ageist here, okay? We have no
but
proof.
Still.
The McDonald's is trashed. It hit the kitchen, but no one was hurt.
No.
That's the one thing they need.
They could work if it hit the eating in area. Hardly anybody ever goes in.
Well, the gas station, one of the gas stations near me had to completely shut down because somebody drove their car straight through the...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I drove by and they have Polar Pops. They're only 69 cents.
You couldn't get in.
And there was no Polar Pop for me because
they hit the Polar Pop line.
That place was shut down. That was the end of that. And now, if you go in front of that, they have these huge concrete pillar things
to keep you from
all along the front of the gas station.
Well, they've learned their lesson. They need to block you.
Yeah.
So, it hit the curb, then went through the drive-thru area. Both drivers were breath tested at the scene and had a negative reading.
No alcohol. But you know what? I mean, it's
doesn't mean they weren't asking.
Should come as no shock to anyone. The ice cream machine's not working.
I think that's what it really hit. That and the soda machine, it hit that the most.
They're down. So
oh, boy.
They're always down. We know the truth.
How embarrassing. I try to just if something truly embarrassing happens, you just hope no one notices and sees. But for this, you go through the McDonald's, everyone notices. You've
Everybody's
really
gonna
changed
notice.
a lot of people's days.
A lot of people were looking for something to eat, and now they're hungry.
Wish the worst of the riot would never end?
Everything that has a beginning has an end.
What is wrong with you? Get our daily podcast through iTunes, Google Play, or the RadioU app.
So I did finally make it to see the Avengers this weekend.
You saw it on Friday.
Yeah, and let's talk a little spoiler-free review here. First off...
As normally, Obi likes to do movie spoiler-free reviews when it's been out for 3 months. So This is new for you. It was only out for a week.
Yeah, so spoiler-free, you know what, Nikki? It's good. And I didn't cry. Everybody's like, cry, 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 cry again.
What was the one thing that the guy texted?
That it was like the Notebook for Nerds?
Yes, pretty much. I expected you to cry.
I knew why people were crying. The other thing is that, okay, don't hate me for this, but I felt like with one or two exceptions, they telegraphed everything. Like you knew way early what was going to happen and where it was going to go.
I'm sorry, were you disappointed by that?
Nope,
or
not at all.
You were just fine with it?
Not at all. It was just one of those things where I feel like some people are like, I can't believe that happened. And you're like, okay, here's something you have to understand when watching a movie. I'm going to take some of the fun out of movie watching for you, but here's the reality. nothing just happens in a movie. A good screenplay, every single word is there for a reason. So when they show you something early in the movie, they show it to you so they can show it to you again later. That moment that just feels like a character moment and like, oh, this doesn't mean anything, whatever. Those don't exist.
Pay attention.
Especially not in a movie that's 3 hours long. Because they have cut everything they can possibly cut out of a 3-hour movie. They have left things in there on purpose. Now, that doesn't make me smart or it doesn't make me cynical. It's literally how it works. Okay? That's just how it works. So I felt like there were very few major surprises towards the end. But I did think that there was one moment in particular that was my absolute favorite. Favorite. And there's something that happens with Thor that I will tell you, they need to get a hold of that and use that to tell people about depression. That's all I'm going to say. That is not a spoiler. You should, it's a thing. I was just like, yeah, right there. Exactly that. I would like to show people that. But I thought it was great. When I got done with it, I couldn't decide if I liked it.
Yeah.
And I was just like.
But you're like that sometimes with movies. That's not anything new.
It took me a whole day to figure out that I really liked it.
He really likes to digest it and kind of chew on it for a day.
I had to think about it, and I did. I roll over in the middle of the night, and I was like,
I like it.
I was thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about
times.
it. There were so many. I thought there were a lot of really great character moments, and it was just a lot of fun. And I mean, I have a lot of questions. I would like to see it again.
Were you sad you didn't see it opening weekend, or are you just fine?
It was fine. I mean, the theater was crowded enough, and there was one moment in the movie that did get kind of spoiled for me, and it was also my favorite thing in the movie, so that was a little bit of a bummer.
Aww, but it's fine.
It is what it is. I don't feel like I enjoyed it any less, and I may have actually cheered just a little bit. I feel like if it had been opening weekend and it was a crowded theater and I hadn't known, I probably would have stood up and been like, "Whoa!"
That's when you would have cried.
Maybe I would have. Maybe I would have. I went into.
Well, I'm glad you finally saw Avengers.
Glad
you saw Endgame.
Loved it. It was really, really good. So now I need to watch Infinity War again and then go back and watch Endgame. So we could have
so that's this weekend.
You never know, right?
You could be learning jiu-jitsu right now, or how to drive a race car, or do anything productive with your life, but no. You're listening to the worst of the riot on RadioU.
I don't know how I feel about this, but Nick and I went to the movies. We saw Avengers on Friday.
Yeah.
And
not Nicky, so it wasn't me.
Nick like News Nick, that guy. So he and I go in there, and I've been at this theater before when I was much smaller.
Yeah. Oh, are the seats different? Is that what you're saying?
I know what you're going to say. No, it's not that.
It's not like that.
It's not like I'm so fat because the seats feel so small.
But it's meaning are you grown up and you haven't been there since you were younger?
Okay, here's the part that bothers me. It's probably been 20 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time, right? It's the same seats.
They haven't updated the seating?
And they're cloth.
Ew. I don't know what's worse. The pleather?
Right?
The pleather seating or the cloth seats?
At least I feel like the pleather, not only is it not porous,
I think they wipe it off.
I feel like you can wipe that off. But those cloth seats, they haven't been changed. And this theater is on campus, all right? Do you know what that means? I lived in dorms. I know what hygiene is like and how bad it is.
They haven't updated it since, shouldn't they have put stadium seating in?
The carpet's the same.
The carpet the same?
It has stadium seating.
Well,
recliners? No recliners.
Yeah, the recliners.
No recliners.
Reserve seating recliners.
They have reserve seating, no recliners. And it's the same cloth chairs, and it really is the same carpet.
They figure on campus no one cares.
I remember walking in, I'm like, same carpet, and when we got in the theater, I was like, oh my gosh.
It's the same
These
seats.
are the same chairs.
Did you leave a comment, a suggestion card or something?
No, but I felt like I needed to change clothes and especially scrub my hair when I got done because I was like, there's stuff living in there that lives in my hair now.
Is there bed bugs in movie theaters? Actually, there is sometimes. I read, yes. No, there sometimes is.
I'll tell you.
There can be.
If there was a place where you were going to get bed bugs at the movies, prime candidate. Prime candidate.
I hear ya.
So then you have to start asking yourself, how often do you need to swap out the chairs at a theater? Like, what do you think? Is it 10 years?
Well, I mean, due to use and abuse, I feel they should be changing them out maybe every 5 to 8 years.
You just think about all the terrible things. Remember on Friday, we were looking at that picture from the airline where it was like the wound that was leaking pus into the guy's shoes and all over the floor? Stuff like that's happening.
They're not cleaning.
In that movie theater.
They're not doing that in any theater, though.
And you know what? Somebody, an usher, who's paid minimum wage, if he's lucky, wanders by, and do you think he's like, you know what, this is my theater, and I take pride in it. And so I'm going to make sure that this is like scrubbed as clean as possible.
They're not doing that.
That's not the way it works.
They're not doing that.
Wait, like you're in there like, you know what, I'm going to do as little as I can get away with without getting in trouble. And all those years of that. And now I'm like, I'll just sit here. No,
my big problem is a theater, I feel like, does not do a deep cleaning. Ever. Because they're just not shutting down. And you're like, well, they shut down for a few hours each night. That's not the shutdown time you need.
Yeah, again.
You need the one where normally, like a McDonald's or someone is like, fine, tear it down and rebuild it up. And then we've got 8 years on this one.
Well, I feel like the recliners, at least in most theaters, are pretty new. Mm-hmm. So we've bought ourselves a couple of years. But this place...
Not with the carpet, though.
With their cloth seating and their carpet, I'm just like, man... What are we doing here? Like, I was probably 5 years old and threw up on this carpet right here.
Look, there's the stain.
Right there.
And it doesn't
the stain is still
there.
Here.
It doesn't make anybody like a movie theater snob. It's not about that. It's just, that's a good amount of time. We should have changed things.
I feel like hygiene should be a priority. Like, at
Says
home
no one
and
ever.
abroad.
Says no place you're going to ever.
I know, whatever. It's fine. You know what? Because hygiene costs money. Do you want to pay the raising prices?
They're going to have, for the cleaning, we're the ones who have to pay.
John asks via text, do you think they bring in a deep cleaner every once in a while?
Oh, you know they don't, John. You wish they did, but you know they don't.
You want them to. You do.
The one theater that we sometimes go to, which is not the one with the seats that haven't been changed, but like for a year, they had a toilet that was leaking, and it wasn't just a little leak. It was like, it literally would just gush on the floor.
Yeah.
And every time you go in the bathroom, it would just be sectioned off. And I mean, they weren't even rushing to change that, and that was water. They're paying for that.
That's what that tile floor is for.
It's just easier to clean.
No big deal.
It's all right. That's why we want to stay home and see movies.
The Riot sees gas station hot dogs as part of a balanced breakfast.
Is that bad? Well, not good.
It's The Riot on RadioU.
You know, something that Nikki and I still have not received is our daytime Emmy.
Is it an honor to be nominated, or have we not even been nominated?
You know what? We have to get on TV first.
Oh, we do?
That's the only way you get it.
YouTube doesn't count?
No, it
YouTube
doesn't.
TV?
It doesn't. You know what? I'm sick and tired of these award shows not recognizing streaming for what it is.
So one day we'll get on there.
The very important thing, blah, blah, blah.
I don't feel like we are the right humor for TV. I feel like ours is just perfect for radio and podcasting.
I'll tell you this, and I digress before we get to the actual news. Is there anything worse than daytime TV? Like,
it's
have
always
you ever
soap operas and like shows where they're yelling at each other.
Have you ever been home?
That sounds a lot like us, doesn't it?
A lot of drama,
a lot of yelling.
But
when your evil twin comes in to host with it, it's perfect for daytime television.
Have you guys met Obadiah? He's real.
And Vicky.
So I like just being home, having a day off, and you spend a little time and you're like, I'll just see what's on TV. It is a barren wasteland. I don't care how much cable you have. It doesn't matter. And there's nothing. There's just nothing. Which is why I don't want to take away from Alex Trebek's great win over the weekend.
Oh, did he win for Jeopardy? Is that daytime television? Or
see, that's what I thought.
It's on at nighttime. Well, early evening.
So maybe
because it's not past the 8 p.m. Everything under 8 then is daytime television.
Yeah, could be. I mean, that's not the way I run it, man. Alex Trebek is like, he's my nighttime talk show host.
And for us, we get up so early.
That's what I'm saying.
It could also be like we're just, thinking, because I always thought it was 7 or 7:30, something like that.
Jeopardy's like my Tonight Show.
when you get up as early as we do.
Woo!
Yay!
So, yeah, he won. That's his 6th time winning Outstanding Game Show Host.
What are the other options?
You know what?
I mean, what is the competition?
I don't...
Is it Wheel of Fortune and Price is Right? Is that it?
I don't actually know.
I mean, that's all that I know.
Let me see. I'm scrolling. You always come up with the best questions, and I never have a good answer.
Well, I would have hoped whoever wrote this article would have put that in there.
Daytime Emmys 2019 Game Show Host. Let's see if I can get you a list here. Okay. Wayne Brady was up for Let's Make a Deal.
That's still on?
Pat Sajak. He loves to hear that.
Well, we're not watching daytime television, so it's no offense.
Okay, Pat Sajak for Wheel of Fortune. John Michael Higgins for America Says.
What is that?
I don't know what that is.
I guess it's on during the daytime.
America Says.
Well.
And then Chris Harrison for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
What's that? Why is that? Is that on?
It's still on.
We're not watching enough TV.
What happened to the Angry British Lady?
No, I think that was when it was on at nighttime, wasn't it?
That was when it was a nighttime Emmy. And then, of course, Alex Trebek for Jeopardy.
Good for him.
So what makes Alex Trebek better than Pat Sajak?
Well, I think they alternate. So, like, every other year, they're like, oh, it's this time, it's this time.
Like, why is Alex Trebek better than Wayne Brady? Like, what?
Did you say Price is Right? Because wouldn't that be?
No, not even on there.
Scandalous. How could it not be?
You know what? Drew Carey's so good. They were like, we don't even
Maybe he wins all the other years.
No idea. But seriously, though, like, it's the same every day. How do you distinguish yourself year on year?
Don't know.
Man.
We're not supposed to look into. We're not supposed to pull back the Emmy curtain.
All right. The other thing that's a little rough, though, like you could make the same argument for the Riot. How do you even know you had the good show? It's the same show every day.
You're right.
It's the same every day.
Listen, don't break it apart. It's
don't
fine.
Think about it.
Don't think about it. We just do what they do. We come in every day.
Every day.
And we have a great game show.
That's
okay?
Right.
That's what we do.
I'm going to be in my trailer crying
now. Bring in the Plinko. Let's bring that in.
Let's play Plinko.
Okay, that's coming up in a couple of minutes.
I really wish we had Plinko.
It's not. We can just throw things against the wall.
$10,000?
No.
No, okay. Like, hey, look, you want a quarter.
You want real money?
The big one.
Or can I get you some Bitcoin still? We have some left over. So
I'll trade that Bitcoin in. Don't you worry.
And so if you want to text or call 877-2-RADIO-U and congratulate us in honor of our Emmy Daytime nomination.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the worst of the riot, when they shut up and the music starts. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
I am noticing like a little bit of a pattern. I'm sure, Nikki, that you have noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like it really hit home this morning when I was at the gas station getting a soda after my workout on my way in.
Well, you got to get your reward. It's your little protein drink.
That's
minus the protein.
I mean, like on Friday, I was tempted to do that, but I didn't. So I was like, look at me. I'm great. I said no to my desire. But then this morning I was like, yes, I'll take one.
It's funny how those days are different, isn't it?
Yeah. And you know what's funny about it is I'm lots happier when I go.
Well, yeah, okay, so for you used to drink...
Just grab a little
you
sip
take
here.
a sip, because that's work-related. You used to drink a lot of soda. You used to drink way more than you do now.
It's true.
Then you cut back on, and basically had no soda.
I quit for like 6 months or something.
Then you came back for like clear soda, because, know, it's not as bad, or like caffeine-free.
Yeah.
And now you're back to...
I'm all the way back in.
To your mellow yellow mix that you do with cherry.
Yep.
But you don't have it, I feel like, every day.
No, I don't.
People confuse you, though, because you drink water out of the same cup.
I do.
So I think they think you are back to drinking it every day, but you're actually not.
I'm probably not supposed to, but these like styrofoam cups, I'll keep them for a day or two and fill them with water and drink water out of them all day.
Well, that's good of you, even though it's still styrofoam.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, people do think that I'm drinking soda all
Fresh
day. And
soda every day, and
it's
it's not. A lot of times it can be water.
A lot of times
but
it is water.
But are you sad that you're back to drinking soda more, or you just don't care?
Well, I was thinking about me when I was quitting, and I was like, I just feel so much better. My life is better, and everything's better and better and better. And right now, I'm like, I just feel so much better. It's so much better to drink this soda, and I'm happier with it. And so
you feel the same happiness.
But the reality of it is, I wasn't better then or now. I'm same.
And now you at least have the soda.
I think better was just an illusion. Like I was just telling myself, I'm better. I'm like, well, I'm fine.
Well, maybe you needed to experience the better for a longer stretch of time to be able to really see the health benefits.
Well, I mean, you'll recall I went on this cleanse where like I cut out all this food and everything, and I was just sick. And people are like, well, of course, you're sick for the first week. No. Like as time went on, I got sicker and sicker.
I've never met someone who's gets sick from the healthy things. Like legitimately get sick.
It was bad. And finally,
you found out you had all these allergies and all these things that because of all the healthy stuff you never had before.
Yeah, and I started eating them, and I'm like, I'm so sick.
Remember chia seeds?
Don't even start with that. Don't even start
Don't
with
say that. That's the worst offender.
It was like unleashing an evil inside my body.
Whereas everybody else is like, I need more chia seeds, not him.
I eat these chia seeds and it's power. After about 50 or 60 days, I started Googling, and I found this whole community.
Yeah.
The small one of people that were like, chia seeds are the devil. And they had the same experience. They were like 30, 40 days. They were fine. And then all of a sudden their body was like, don't you ever
put chia seeds
give
in me
chia again, ever.
Well, for soda though, it seems worse than it is.
Yeah. I mean, it does. That's what we tell ourselves. It seems worse than
every
it is.
day when you pull on in.
It's fine. Don't say anything to him. He's sensitive.
Yes, please don't bring it up. Just say, okay, whatever you need.
He's sensitive.
We're always with you.
Sure, the Riot could start eating healthy, or they could continue living happy, enjoyable lives. The Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, you like YouTube, right?
I do. I pay for the premium one, so I don't do any commercials and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just I tend to watch, that's kind of like TV for me sometimes.
I feel like I watch too much YouTube.
You do?
Yeah, because my attention span is about 15 seconds. And so I just go on I've got the YouTube app on my Apple TV, mm-hmm. and I like watching it on TV because I know most people's like, I want to watch it on my phone or my tablet. I don't know why. I sit down and like I'm watching TV.
You go through it there?
I'm watching YouTube.
See, I treat it like TV. Like I don't watch, ABC, NBC, CBS. I don't watch any shows on that, but I will watch YouTube, but I prefer to watch it on my phone.
Okay. See, I really like being able to watch it on TV. I don't know.
Just a thing.
I don't know why, but I do. But YouTube made an announcement over the weekend that is kind of impressive, and that's this. YouTube now has over 2 billion active users each month.
YouTube Now?
No, I'm sorry. YouTube.
Oh, now has.
Now has.
Oh, I was like, what's now?
No. What I'm saying is that as of this moment, YouTube has an active user base of 2 billion. Well,
if you think worldwide, it makes sense.
That's unbelievable.
And you should probably ask how many out of those 2 billion are unhappy with YouTube. Also 2 billion. Hating YouTube is just a thing. People always do.
I don't know.
Active users, creators, that sort of stuff.
No. Like as a consumer, I'm fine with it.
As a creator,
YouTube's a huge pain. It's a huge pain. Actually, and part of what's made it a huge pain is that other creators don't like you stealing their stuff.
Sure.
There it is. It's the bots that are like, hey, I think that song sounds like our song. Copyright strike.
Yeah, there's a lot they still need to work through.
Like, it's not a copyright strike. Too bad. We don't even bother checking. We just believe them. No big deal. It's fine.
But yes, as a consumer, though, I could see that.
Uh-huh. So, let's see. What do we got here? They were at 1.8 billion this time last year, mm-hmm. and they're like hitting 2 billion was part of their goal, but they felt like it was at the time out of reach. Oh, but think about this. They have managed over the course of the year to add 200 million users to YouTube.
Isn't that weird to think, like, where are all these people at? But
I mean, what did they say? Current Earth population somewhere between 7 and 8 billion. Mm. So that means that roughly 25% of the world is using YouTube.
It's kind of like when you get Netflix numbers and they're like, oh, we added another million, and you're like, or another billion. You're like, who doesn't already have Netflix? But there are countries in other areas where the technology is growing for them finally to be able to use YouTube or Netflix and have the subscription and have the service. So there's plenty of people that had not had a chance.
Yeah, YouTube really is. It's a crazy thing when you look at it. And the thing that amazes me is that it's not all just stolen content. Like there is.
A lot of it is.
There is a lot of it, but it's funny to me. Think of anything. It's on YouTube. So Thursday, I was working on a garage door and I couldn't figure something out. Not only was it on YouTube, there was like 40 videos about just that one thing on YouTube. And I didn't go to the third page. That was just the first 2 pages. So when you look at it, it's like, man, there's so much.
It's how really our generation learns everything.
There's so much.
So,
yeah. So, you know what? I like YouTube, even if I don't like them.
If you are RadioU Riot,
Well,
you
it's the
should be
best.
following the best channel out there.
It's the best. We've got the most followers.
You can do our Worst of Riot podcast. It goes out on our RadioU Riot YouTube channel every day.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime we do an interview or a food fight or an Obadiah plays, they always go there too.
As a matter of fact, they do.
So I think if you subscribe to any channel, RadioU Riot would be what you want to subscribe to too.
Awful, terrible, horrible, pathetic. Someone grab me a thesaurus. I'm gonna need more words to describe how bad these guys are. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Last week, NBA Nets star D'Angelo Russell got in trouble.
We ran out of time on Friday to talk about it, but we didn't want to forget about it for today.
So the deal was that basically he was trying to sneak marijuana through the LaGuardia airport.
He was going to see family or something, they said, and he had a Arizona iced tea can.
Wait for it, because that's the best part.
So
he gets busted for this marijuana, right?
Going through security.
Which, you know what, these days somebody gets busted for marijuana, I don't really consider that to be a big news story because
I always feel I don't know like what the rules are for which area where you're traveling through, like why some people don't get in trouble but why others do. I don't know where it goes.
I like medical marijuana, recreational marijuana, blah blah blah. I don't know. All right, so I guess if I get my medical card for this glaucoma, I'll let you know.
Let's just say through the TSA, I don't think you're supposed to.
Probably
at least,
not.
Especially not how he was doing it.
Well, we don't know, but Nikki's bringing up the part of the story that to me makes it really newsworthy.
You
it
never
blows
see
my
these
mind.
cans. You can get them
Never.
for like $15 on Amazon, but now everybody's going to be getting one of these.
Okay, Nikki, it's an Arizona iced tea can that what?
It's like got a fake inside to it, so you can hide things in it. So if you're like at the beach and you want to keep your car keys, or if you want to keep money or credit cards, and you don't want someone to know like this is my bag, don't steal my bag.
Right.
Well, probably someone would be less likely to steal your can of iced tea or whatever the drink is. So it's got a fake back to it, and he puts the marijuana in there. But they did discover what he was doing.
Okay, well, I just want you to know it's not just that.
You can get different ones?
Dude, there are so many. Like here's an Arizona iced tea one, but here's a Pepsi one. Here's one that's Coke Zero, Dr. Pepper, 7-Up, Spam. Here's one that is a like one of those it's a brush, but it's like a round brush that the top
paddle
comes
brush?
off. Is that what you call it? A paddle brush?
Ones?
Sure. Here's a water bottle. It's a Dasani that looks like there's water in it, but it's got a secret compartment in it.
So this whole world of secret compartments with it. But for him, with him being an NBA player, they said that he could get in trouble for what he was doing. It was a smaller amount, but he still could get issues with it. Or more likely, the NBA has what is the term for it? A marijuana
problem?
No, a marijuana program.
Oh, yeah, okay.
If you do get caught with marijuana, kind of like with traffic school, if you get a speeding ticket, you can go to traffic school. Because for him, they say it was his first offense. He probably will be fine, but otherwise he might have to go to the marijuana school for the NBA players to teach him not to.
But did you read, who was it, what the NBA commissioner said about it?
Mm-mm.
Now, he didn't say it about this. He said about it this in December when he was talking about some other players that had gotten in trouble for marijuana. He was like,
they're very lax on it.
He's like, some of them are using marijuana because of the anxiety of playing in the NBA. We let them go to the doctor and get anti-anxiety medication, but we won't let them have this. And like in a very kind of laissez-faire, we're not really sure attitude about it. So I don't know.
Well, let's just say this. You're not supposed to hide it in the iced tea can.
Oh, I'll even say this even farther. I don't want to smuggle drugs, but I want one of these cans.
I know. What do you want to put in there?
I have nothing to put in there, but I really, really want one.
What about a candy bar? You could hide your candy.
I'm hiding a candy bar in this can of Coke.
I see the problem with that.
I mean,
I see the issue.
It feels a little.
Is it a diet can of Coke?
Yeah, that's what it is.
So then you do need to hide your candy.
So their idea, like he was using it through an airport security thing, but a lot of this stuff is like, hey, you'd put it in your house. So they're in the photos for these that I'm looking at, it shows people putting in like jewelry and money, and you'd set it like here's a Jif jar.
Yeah.
So it would be up on the shelf, and if somebody robbed your house, nobody's going to get into the peanut butter unless I was robbing your house, in which case I would eat your peanut butter.
I mean, heaven forbid you just put it in the bank, but it was also something like in school you would do a lot.
Really?
Yeah, you just hide stuff. What are you looking at?
You and I
we had different school lives.
We did in school.
And I think that's fine to admit. We had very different school lives.
This is what I think is funny. You guys think, Nikki, it was all prim and proper, and I was the bad guy. I followed all the rules.
You did.
All of them.
You didn't even know these things existed.
No. What would I need that for, Nikki?
No, there's no reason.
What would I need it for?
Not for your candy bar.
Certainly not for me. I'm eating the candy bar that I purchased in the lunchroom.
Well, just be aware, everybody.
All right. Well, if you want to smuggle a RadioU sticker or something, that's something to think about.
Well, fold that and put that on in there.
Food fights, band interviews, Twitter fights. How else would you want to start your morning?
I feel traumatized, bruh. And now I'm tweeting about you, bruh. And now you're trending, bruh. And now your life is ruined, bruh. And now you're fired, bruh.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
I'm telling you, Nikki, you just need to move.
Me?
Yeah, because you're not going to get what you're looking for where you live right now.
Where do I need to go?
Tennessee.
Oh, I've heard lovely things, and people have always been very polite.
I will say
to the parts we've gone to.
The times that I visited Tennessee, I have often thought like, oh, I could totally come back here.
It's a friendly state.
Yeah. You often wonder if they're just friendly on the surface, but underneath they're like terrible people. But I don't know.
I always think that they've always seemed genuinely nice.
I know, but what if they just seem that way?
And that's how you get you there? And that's how they get you to move there.
And then all of a sudden they're like, all right, now that you're one of us, it's time for us to talk some real talk. So I see here, one of the things that Nikki really wants out of life is her own bear.
I do. Not in like how could you don't own a zoo, how could you cage a bear up? I don't want that. I just want a little baby bear that until the time is, I want to like foster the baby bear, help him get old enough to where he then goes back in the wild. Everybody's happy. I've helped the baby bear, and that's all I want.
Well, here's the
and mostly a baby polar bear, but I know that's really difficult.
Just to be honest, if that's really what you want, you're
it's not going to happen.
Like, you're not going to get that. But
I'm probably just looking at like a brown bear.
Yeah, like check these out. These people in Knoxville, Tennessee, they had a bear stop by, and he went for a little dip in the hot tub.
I also want this. I've never seen a bear. Well, I've seen a bear. I took a bear tour in Whistler, Canada. I saw Brownie the bear.
Yeah.
That was fun. But I've never seen like a bear in my yard because I don't live in an area where they're at.
Yeah. Honestly,
he's in the hot tub, and I want a hot tub. I want a bear, and I want a hot tub.
It's perfect. It's everything you wanted.
This is everything in this picture.
I did with some friends. We did a vacation cabin in Tennessee. Was it Pigeon Forge or like in that area? And when we got there, we had to wait in the car because there was a bear.
Oh, really?
Yep. Totally.
This was
happened.
Relaxing in the hot tub.
Yeah, you can
see
he's
laying back, relaxing.
He does. Is it just me? Is that his reflection, or is that his feet that he has floating up?
He's laying back in the hot tub.
He's leaning back, enjoying a soak.
And he wasn't the only one. There was a bunch of bears that kind of went around the cabin. They were walking around, and then they left.
Apparently, that's what happens if you don't put the cover on the hot tub.
It's not like there's food in there. So I know you're supposed to put food away.
But they know.
What? That they can relax in the warm bubble bath?
They're not stupid. They know. They're like, oh, this is a warm place where I can...
get in the tub.
I can finally be myself.
You know, I want a hot tub and a bear, and I don't think... I was always told no on both, and that picture tells me that I can.
You can have it all, Nikki. You can have it all.
I can have it all.
You just need to relocate. You just need to relocate.
I need to go to this area.
I think you do very well in Tennessee. I think your big city...
attitude?
No, not attitude.
Swagger?
When you're good at something.
Confidence?
No. You know what I'm not confident in right now, and I'm not good at is talking.
Sure.
your big city something would do very well. Like, you would excel there.
Yeah.
They would be like, yeah, that Nikki, she can get it done.
I got big city ways about me, but I got a very kind heart.
See?
And I'm very happy to be anywhere where there's bears and hot tubs.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Give me 30 seconds and I'll have a crew down there and we're going to shoot a Hallmark movie about you.
They're like, why does she have 25 hot tubs around a wraparound porch?
It's no big deal.
It's like no one, and she never covers them. Do you have to clean it when it's done or when you see the bears?
I don't know.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
It seems worse than it is.